how, most importantly, will you be feeling when you hit that outcome? What will it feel like? What will you be seeing? What will you be hearing? So you can experience the theatre of the mind from a first-person perspective, which is through your own eyes, or you can experience the theatre of your mind from a third person, so you can be an observer watching yourself. So the idea is to use the one that just feels most natural to you.
Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 248. And today we are going to be talking about the 5 steps to hitting your sales goals. Now, the reason that this is topical is because we are into the end of the first quarter of the new financial year if you're in Australia. If you are in America, we are just about to enter the last quarter of the calendar year. So regardless, we've got a calendar year that we want to finish strong on, and we want to set ourselves up as powerfully as possible for 2026. And so I, each quarter, go through this planning process with my clients, and it allows us to be able to plan a lot more strategically, a lot more consistently, and without the anxiety. And so I'm going to walk you through the process that you can use to hit your quarterly sales targets. And effectively, we'll work backwards to go from quarterly to monthly, and then even to weekly and daily. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. So step 1 is get really clear on what your outcome is, right? So interestingly enough, I actually did an episode on goal setting it was actually episode 91. So that was quite a few moons ago now. But if you would like to listen to that, it's episode 91. So that is a good companion episode to this episode. But step number 1 is get very, very clear on your outcome. So what is it that you would like to achieve? Where are you right now? What sort of growth do you want? What does that number look like? What are the number of clients that you will need to convert to hit that particular goal? So get super clear on that outcome. And then effectively what we're going to do is we're going to work backwards. But we need to have some data to look at to work out what your patterns are. And that's obviously one of the things that we do in my ongoing program. We look at the patterns in the data. We don't just look at the sales figure. We look at the amount of offers that were made, or the amount of proposals or quotes that were sent. And we look at the sales that were made. We look at the average dollar value. We look at the number of conversations that had to happen to create the number of appointments where those offers were made. And then we also look at the outbound activity. So how many messages needed to be sent, how many calls needed to be made to get to have enough conversations, to make enough appointments, to be able to make enough offers and to make enough sales. So step number 1, get super clear on your outcome. Step number 2, as we've just been talking about, is understand the activity that will underpin that outcome. And then what we want to do is we want to chunk that down into daily, weekly, monthly activity goals. Now, if you haven't been tracking your activity, typically the way it works is that you'll probably, in terms of outbound, if you have 100 prospects, 100 leads, you'll probably need to with 100 leads, you'll probably end up having around 30 conversations, right? So, and I'm trying to work on just, general rule of thumb type averages here. But if you've got 100 leads, you'll probably end up having 30 conversations. So if you make 100 outbound type requests, you'll probably end up having somewhere in the vicinity of 30 conversations. Of those 30 conversations, you might end up booking, let's say, between 15 and 20 appointments. of those 15 to 20 appointments, you'll probably end up, let's just say it's 20 appointments, you'll probably end up making 15 offers. And of those 15 offers, if you've got an average conversion rate, you'll be converting around about 25% of those 15 offers. Let's call it 30, just to make the numbers simple. So of those 30 offers, I said 15 offers. Of those 15 offers, you'll probably end up converting 5. Okay, so if you use those numbers, that can start to give you your activity that you need to chunk down in terms of each month, each week, each day, and then each day you know what you've got to do. So an outbound contact might be a LinkedIn message, it could be an email, it could be a telephone call. But again, track your numbers and see what type of conversions you get from outbound message to actual conversation. So once you've understood the activity that will underpin that outcome, work out when. Okay, so in this situation, it's like by the end of the quarter. So that's pretty straightforward. But what you might want to consider is the holidays. So we've got December, so there's quite a number of days that you may have off. You may have a week off, you may have 2 weeks off. So you'll need to factor that time off into your activity to make sure that you still can hit that particular outcome. So step number 1, get clear on the outcome. Step number 2, understand the activity, chunk it down into daily, weekly, and monthly activity goals, or monthly, working backwards, weekly and daily activity goals. Work out by when you want to have that particular outcome completed, and then visualize what it will look like. So have a clear sense in your mind of picture it already happening. So what will it look like? Get into the theater of your mind. There's a fantastic book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It was written by a guy called Maxwell Maltz. He talks about the theater of the mind. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can use the theater of the mind. You can use it looking at it from a first person perspective. So looking through your eyes, what will you be seeing when you hit that particular outcome? What will you be hearing when you hit that particular outcome? And how, most importantly, will you be feeling when you hit that outcome? What will it feel like? What will you be seeing? What will you be hearing? So you can experience the theater of the mind from a first person perspective, which is through your own eyes, or you can experience the theater of your mind from a third person. So you can be an observer watching yourself. So the idea is to use the one that just feels most natural to you. And then once you've got that clear, vivid picture of what it will look like when you hit your goal, what it will sound like when you hit your goal, and what it will feel like when you hit your goal, then you can take consistent outcome focused action. So consistent outcome focused action. So with the action that you take, keep that vivid picture in your mind of you having already achieved that particular outcome. So there's your 5-step process. As I said, there's another episode that would be a good buddy episode to this one, which is episode 91. But I look forward to hearing how you go. Send me a message. Go to my website, send me a message, let me know how you go. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.